Hey there Wargamers, and welcome back to another Wargames Delivered video. In this video, we're going to be going over the Army Painter's washes. Let's get started. Alright, so to start this video off, we have a couple examples here on some bolt action miniatures. We're going to go ahead and show off the red tone first here, and I'm pretty much just matching the color to the color of the wash here. So for the red one, obviously we're going to go for the red wash. You don't have to do this though. You can use a different wash on a different color. You can absolutely use that to kind of change the hue or the value of the color that you've already put down on the mini. But for this example, I'm just kind of showing off what it looks like when you use the matching color with each matching wash. So when you use this method of matching your washes to your acrylics, it just really results in a subtle shade, as you can kind of tell from that previous picture there. And here on the dark tone, you'll get an example of a little bit more of a higher contrast shade here. So we've got a gray miniature, and we're just going to cover it with the dark tone here, doing the exact same method. And as you'll see in the finishing photo, as you can kind of tell already, the dark tone is very heavy contrast to the red that we did earlier. So this looks a lot more stark in contrast than the subtle red that we did earlier. And you'll kind of notice that across the other colored washes. So like the green and the beige that we'll do in the future, you'll kind of see those are a little bit more subtle compared to this one here. And of course, you don't always have to use wash on every mini that you paint. Sometimes not using any wash at all is a better strategy for the type of paint style that you're going for, or sometimes pin washing is a good strategy. It really just depends on the model and the paint style that you're going for in the moment. And you'll see me going back to the palette a lot on all of these washes. That's pretty much just because I like to do a heavy wash on all of my miniatures. That's just my style of painting. You can definitely thin this down with a little bit of medium or water, either way, and get a pretty good result as well. This is just how I do it. And as you can see, there's a lot more contrast in the shadows. The miniature kind of looks a little bit dirtier, so usually when you do this kind of a wash, you'll want to go over with another layer of the color that you did before. Moving over to our light green miniature here, we're going to switch over to military shader, and this one is excellent if you're working on bolt action miniatures. Any camo or just green cloaks or vests that you would have, this is excellent for that. So you'll see in the final shot later on in the video how this dries, and it just works perfectly if you're giving a subtle shadow on camo and green leather and cloth. And I like to start with the feet and work my way up on the model, but you can absolutely start from the head down or in the middle and just work your way around. You don't really have to do a specific pattern for this. That's just the way that I prefer to move my washes around. Just kind of, put the heaviest bit in the bottom and then work my way up. But you can absolutely apply the wash any way you'd like to. And I've mentioned this in previous videos before, but for any first-time viewers, typically when I'm working with Army Painter washes, I like to give them about 45 minutes to an hour to dry. If you can go 2 hours, that's even better. Sometimes, we're not always that patient. So that's typically how long I like to give these guys to dry. You can always, take a heater and knock off a couple of minutes, by pointing a heater at it and, just taking that process and moving it a little bit faster. And another thing to watch out for is just to make sure you don't have any excess pooling in any areas you don't want them in. So if that happens, just go ahead and take a dry brush and move those areas away where you have some extra wash, and you should be all set there. Switching over to our last example here, we're going to switch to mid-brown. And for this, we're going to do the exact same thing, just cover the entire model. And you'll notice on this one, it is a little bit more, it's a bit more of a starker contrast than the other three have been, with the exception of possibly the dark tone. With these two, I really wanted to show the variety that you could get in tones and values with your washes. As you can see here with this wash, this is another one that you would want to go back over with the base color that you painted with earlier. And there's a huge variety of brown washes in the Army Painter's range, so you have plenty of options in terms of darker or lighter browns for your model. This is a nice even middle brown, so I kind of wanted to just use this and show this off. You can obviously go and drop your models like I do, or you can you know, go lighter or darker on your models. And as you can see, this wash kind of changed the hue and the tone of the model. And as always, thank you guys for watching and staying tuned. Please feel free to check the link in the description for the giveaway below, and happy wargaming, guys.